You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'.
What is going down? What is going down? This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. Welcome to the show, guys. If you're into anime, if you are into nerd culture, and most importantly, if you love video games, you come to the right place because we talk about all of that shit here. This is podcast episode number 426. We got a good show for you today, guys. I'm going to talk about my anime watch list. I'm going to talk about Xbox and what they have coming down the pipeline. Also, Division 3 a little bit there. Also, something that I did that I didn't think I was going to do, and I did it. And going to talk about that. And it's canceling my Xbox Gamepass. So I'm going to dive into that, why, and everything else under the sun. Also, what I'm currently playing. So that is going to be the show. So let's start at the very top. And let me go ahead and start my anime watch list. Guys, there's a lot of cool shit. And if you are in anime, you should feel pretty lucky because, man, we got season 3 of 2 of my favorites. And one is Jujutsu Kaisen. I think everybody knows about that one. And we have 2 episodes that are currently out now. And we also have Fire Force, which is back with a season 3. So yeah, man, those are 2 awesome anime. I think Fire Force is purely underrated. Okay. Fire Force is underrated as fuck, in my opinion. Really got a high affinity for that one right there. But yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen as well. I haven't watched any of them yet. I've been fighting with Jujutsu Kaisen because they weren't dubbed when I looked, and I was trying to decide, am I going to watch dubbed or not? I hate watching an anime one way and then it switches up on me. So if I'm going to watch it dubbed, I want to watch it all dubbed. If I'm going to watch it subbed, I'm going to do it all that way. So I don't like half stepping, and I don't think I'm going to be able to wait for Jujutsu Kaisen to finish before I start watching it. Would it be a dream? Yes. I could bury myself in work and other things and then come back and binge the whole season. It would be awesome to sit back and be able to watch it all. And that's kind of like where I'm at now. I'm spoiled. I'm to the point where I just don't like watching and then waiting, especially anime. You get 22 minutes, 23 minutes, and then you got to wait a whole another week before you get that again. So that sucks for me. I'm going to try really hard. I'm leaning towards waiting, letting it stack up and trying to figure that out. So that's what I want to do, guys. And I'm going to try it. Will I make it? I don't know. You'll be the first to know. Trust me if I can't. But that's my plan moving forward right now. So we'll see. Only time will tell. Same thing with Fire Force, guys. I mean, I'm just happy they're here. There are a lot of different other shows and anime that I could be watching. And I've been watching a lot of live action shows lately as well. And trying to, it helps because it gives me a chance to focus on some other stuff while I let some of these anime kind of stack up and do what they do. Because there's a lot of anime that are cool that are out, but they're not finished either. Or they are they're out and they have dubs, and the dubs haven't caught up yet. So, you start an anime with a dub. You might watch 2 or 3 episodes, and then you come back for the 4th episode, and it's there, but it's not dubbed. So there might be 6 episodes out now. You watched 4 of them, they were dubbed, and then the last 2 aren't. And so you're like, well, damn, the dubs have not caught up. So now you're sitting there waiting, and you're kicking yourself sometimes for that. So that's just me. A lot of people say, well, just watch sub, man. You won't be disappointed. You just, hey, it is what it is. But I don't know, man. There's some good dubs out there. I don't care what anyone says. There are some great fucking dubs out there. And if I can find a dub that is worthy, I will do it. And especially if I'm watching a subbed anime, I can't watch them the same. In other words, I can't multitask while I'm watching a subbed anime. I can't. I have to have all my attention on that screen. I can't miss anything. And sometimes you end up missing stuff anyway. Maybe there's a sentence or a discussion and people are talking about it. And next thing you know, you've missed an important part. So you got to go back, pause it, look at it, read it, those type of things. I don't want to do that. Have I done it before? Yes. Am I willing to do it again? Yes, if I have to. But these are things that you don't necessarily want to do. And if you have a family like me, you're going to have to pick and choose how you watch some of this stuff, because like I said, if you're watching sub, kids running around doing extra shit, coming in, asking for juice, all this type of stuff, guys, it's going to throw you off and you're not going to get the same enjoyment out of it because you're not going to get the focus. These are married man problems, but I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. But anyway, that's my dilemma with that. Here's a fucking show that I saw, and it's not an anime per se. It's a animated series, and it blew me away. Absolutely blew me the fuck away. And I'm so enthralled with it. And it's a Splinter Cell Death Watch. Okay. I've been meaning to watch it. I know it's been out for 2 or 3 months now, something like that. I've seen it every time I see Netflix. I've seen it. There's a lot of shit I have to watch and catch up on. I haven't finished Stranger Things either. I've only watched like 2 episodes of that. So I got some things to do. But Splinter Cell just kept looking at me. And if you guys don't know me, I love Sam Fisher. I'm a huge Splinter Cell fan, and I love it. And I always said, look, I want to watch it. I'm going to watch it. And to be quite honest with you guys, I didn't see it, being as peak as it actually was. I was going to watch it because I'm biased towards Sam Fisher and Splinter Cell anyway. But when I saw what I saw, and I was excited, blown away at the same time, because after the first couple episodes, I was like, wow. And I was only planning on watching a couple because I had some other shit to do. But then I watched it all except for the final episode, because by then it was late and I had to get to bed. But all I thought about was what happened on the final episode. And I finally finished it. And I must say that Splinter Cell Death Watch was definitely worth the watch. It was creme de la creme to me. Everything from the soundtrack to the artistic direction. They did a great job with this. I mean, they really did. And it kind of reminded me of if you ask me what my favorite Batman story is, or my favorite version of Batman, I always tell people it's The Dark Knight Returns. A lot of people don't know what that is. If you don't, it's basically a 55-year-old Batman who has been retired for 10 years and he's just chilling, right? And he gets drawn back into this world. He gets drawn back out into these streets, and he kind of challenged himself in essence to try to see if he still had it. And this Batman was more chiseled, more, of course, run down. He was out of practice, but he still had his wits about him. He still had the things that he went through his whole life. And some things you just never forget. Some things never leave you. And this is it kind of reminded me of that, right? Because there's Sam Fisher, who is an older, retired, hiding in Poland, trying to do his own thing, staying out of the way. And then you meet this young female who's Splinter Cell, and she's good at her job. I don't want to say too much else. I don't, because it gets crazy. But the dynamic is crazy, because if you watch The Dark Knight Returns, the animated series, which I fucking adore, I recommend anybody go watch that. There's part 1 and part 2. You definitely, it just reminds me so much of that. All right. Because then, there's a female in there who technically becomes Robin in that story. And it went hand in hand, and it was really good, man. It didn't hold any punches. It was definitely violent. The choreography of all the fight scenes were epic. It didn't try to be nice. They weren't throwing rose petals around this, guys. This was a dark story. All right. And I appreciated everything about it. Okay. So if you haven't seen Splinter Cell Death Watch, it's on Netflix. Go check it out. If you're looking for good fun, even if you don't know anything about Splinter Cell, Tom Clancy or anything like that, go check this one out. It's a good one all the way around, whether you are into animation or, or not. If you're just looking for a good show, this is it. And even better news than that, it got greenlit for another season. So very excited for this. I'll definitely be watching day one this time. I will not be putting this one on the back burner, guys. And fucking love Sam Fisher. But anyway, that's my anime watch list. And let's move on and let's talk about Xbox. They have a showcase coming up, guys. January 22nd. They have a showcase. They have a few things. One in particular, I personally, you've heard me talk about this game a few times. I'm talking about Fable. All right. I was wondering, is Fable dead? I've done videos on this. I've talked about it in detail. And this is one of the games, one of the franchises, personally for me, which is one of my favorites from Xbox. I know everybody loves the Gears of War and, some of the other stuff they got going on over there. But for me, it was always Fable. I had some awesome memories. Fable 2. It was just, like I said, waiting for this game, trying to find out what's going on. They've been working on it for so fucking long. I don't know what's going on with it, but apparently it's alive and kicking and well. And on the 22nd of January, we're going to get some gameplay footage, new footage. They're going to break down some things to us. They're going to let us know, hopefully, a release date, because if you go to the website, they claim that this is coming out in 2026. So I hope to see it in 2026. I really do. I'm excited about this RPG and interested to see what they've done with it. A lot of people are still up in the air on the protagonist. Is it even going to be a choice where we can choose our own, right? Because the way they made it seem as though this female is the only protagonist you get to choose. In all the other Fable games, you could create your character. You pretty much male or female, and you kind of go down that path and you do what you do. This one is different. Or I think it is. Now, they could hit us and say, no, it's the same. We're going to let you choose male or female. We're going to let you do your thing, whatever. I would really like that or appreciate that. But either way, even if they don't, it's Fable. So I'm willing to give it a shot and see what these guys can do. So I'm really looking forward to the 22nd. I want to see what they got to show. And I'm hyped, man. I really am. What kind of tells me that it may not come out in 2026. And if it does, if you put a gun in my head and said, what day? I'm going to tell you, definitely in the fall. I'm going to tell you more holiday season. I'm going to tell you November, maybe even December. You know what I mean? Because they are actually still hiring for positions when it comes to this game. So animators and things of that nature. So they're not, I don't know how much time they have left. I don't know if this is for cleanup, but animation right now, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the ins and outs of when it comes to all the technical stuff that goes on when you make these games and how long those things take to render or finish or whatever. But it didn't seem like you should be hiring for those type of positions at this stage if the game is coming out in 2026. That's just my opinion. Could I be wrong? Fuck yeah. I hope that I am. And I hope we get this in 2026. But that is that. Also, Forza Horizon 6. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Forza series. I didn't play any of the games. I've dibbled and dabbled, watched other people or whatnot. And I like racing car games. I like my racing car games, depending on what it is. But this one here is going to probably be the first one that I play, because this one takes place in Japan, right? They finally have their Japanese break glass here game. And I think this is going to be that one. And it's definitely going to pull me in. I definitely want to see what this one's about. They're going to be in Tokyo. They're going to be doing, I love the Japanese racing scene, any games that surround that. And I've always been a fan of that. So being able to be in certain locations out there, I'm going to love that. So definitely, especially at night, like my favorite is racing in a Japanese racing game at night, going on the opposite side of the road. Like, it's crazy. I love it. But anyway, this one is scheduled to come out in 2026 as well. I don't have the actual release date, but I just know 2026, and this is going to be for PC and Xbox, and then it's coming later to the PlayStation brand. So everybody's going to have access to this. I'm debating, should I get it for PlayStation? I don't know. Curious though. I'm very curious about this game. So I've heard great things about the last Forza, and a lot of people say, yo, it was my game of the year. It was this, it was that. I'm like, yo, maybe I need to check that one out just for shits and giggles. But anyway, that's here nor there. Next thing, let's talk about Beast of Reincarnation. I'm sorry. Excuse me. This game, if you guys don't remember, they did show this one. I want to say this one is not just for Xbox, though. I want to say this is multi-platform. But the protagonist is a female, young female, in a strange world. And she has these strange abilities, which looks cool, by the way. This hasn't gotten a lot of press as of late, but, hopefully they get a nice fat press run kit together and ready when this game gets close. But this one's coming out this year as well. If you don't know about this game, there are trailers available you can check out. It's called Beast of Reincarnation. Definitely was one when I saw the trailer, I said this is definitely one I would play. I would definitely want in my collection. I'm not saying day one, but I definitely would see this as something. I love the aesthetics. I love the stuff she was wearing and the gear and stuff like that. So the design, the character design and all that I thought was dope. So I'm going to look more into this. And like I said, on the 22nd, we should get some information on all three games. This is going to be a showcase designated for these three games to kind of shed some more light on these. And I'm really looking forward to it, man. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm really looking forward to an Xbox showcase. It's been a while. All right. But anyway, that's that news right there. Now, let's get to some Division talk. Now, if you guys don't know about the Division games, they're awesome. Probably my favorite online looter shooter there is. I like it better than pretty much anything out there. And there's some good shit out there. You have Arc Raiders out there, and you have Helldivers 2. There's some good ones, right? And out of all of those, I'd have to be honest. And for me personally, it's probably this one here. I've had so many great memories on all of these Division games, especially Division 1. I was there day one for Division 1. I was there day one for Division 2. And I had so many great memories playing with my friends. And I think every time I recall the memories of that game, that franchise, there's so many awesome ones because that's when our whole crew was together. It was nostalgic in a sense because, it was a moment in time where everybody just synchronized together. It was just everybody came together and we just had squads and we were just having fun, man, going into the dark zone or rather just doing PvE. It was just a blast to play, sharing our builds with each other, helping each other, with our builds, trying to go get things. It was an awesome time. And I hope that the Division 3 brings everybody back together like it once did, kind of like the Avengers or the kids in the movie It, where they come back and hey, join up for one last time. I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait for this. They said that they are working on Division 3, and the executive producer basically said in his words, quote, "It's shaping up to be a monster. It's going to be the greatest thing since Division 1. So apparently they're putting all their eggs in this basket. They have learned a lot from the first two games, and they're still supporting the Division 2. There have been updates. I started playing a little bit of it. I'm going to probably try to play a little bit more in the next couple of days out there. I was just testing my build out. Still love my build, my chemical shredder build, whatever you want to call it. I have no real name for it, but it's an awesome build. But anyway, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this Division 3. Now, I didn't want to get too excited or get you guys too excited because it's not around the corner, not even close. This game probably at the very earliest will probably be like a 2028 type of thing. All right. They're still knee deep into this and they're still heavily working on it. So I thought it was cool to hear about it. And, a lot of different outlets are reporting this. So they want people to know that we are working on this game and it is a thing and it's coming. And when it does, we are letting you know that we put everything we had into this. So get ready. So that's, it's going to be worth the wait, I think. So yeah, it's definitely going to be day one purchase for me for sure. I just canceled my PlayStation online because, I haven't been playing it. And, I don't like to be on drip for no reason, right? If I'm not going to be playing it and I'm still giving you guys $10 a month or whatever, it doesn't make sense to me. It's free money. In 2026, I told myself, guys, I have some things that I'm trying to do. And, I'm cutting off all the weak links and all the fat so that I can make some pretty decent strides this year as far as financially. because these are things I have to do to get to where I'm trying to get to, so I can have that financial freedom type of situation, and then have more time and be able to, chill and, do the things I love to do. So that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, there's that news right there, guys. And now I kind of want to segue into this discussion where I ended my Xbox Game Pass. Now, this is new for me. I've had Game Pass, guys, for 4 years, over 4 years. My son is 12 now. So since he was 8, I've had it, right? And he's about to be 13. So you could damn near say almost 5 years, right, that I've had it. It's just been, I've been paying it every year, just whatever. And it's been slowly going up. That's how they get you, right? And I'm not sitting here saying that for my household, it was a bad idea, even $30. It was still a pretty decent deal for 2 Xboxes, really a great deal for 2 Xboxes in one household, but I had to do some things, and I had to do some measuring up of some things. And a lot of things came into this decision for me personally. What really set it off, though, if I'm being honest, is my son got into some trouble at school. He didn't like listening to his teacher. So I decided to take his Xbox, right? Not just for a couple of weeks or anything like that. I said, no, you know what? You're done for the school year. You're done. I'm taking it. So I took the Xbox, literally took that big ass box and put it in my wife's closet. And that's where it's at. And so he's not going to be playing it for the rest of the school year. And that's still a few months away, guys. So I'm like, well, do we need Game Pass? And I looked at all the games. I looked at what I was playing. I looked at how often I was playing, and I said, no. And this is something new that I haven't done before. It was kind of like a security blanket in essence. And I was like, you know what? And then my son, let's keep that in mind. The last couple of games he's been playing, he's been sinking hours and hours into, have been games that we paid for, which is Cyberpunk 2077 and Elden Ring. Those have been his 2 games he spent the most in the last 3 months. Okay. So I was like, okay. And then I looked at mine, and guys, I wasn't really playing anything. If you take a month, I might have played a couple of hours. That's because I have so many different games, so many different game systems, whether it be retro, whether it be just other systems in general, or just time. Like I haven't been playing anything really as of late because I've been doing too much, and I don't have a lot of time. So I was like, you know what? I'm burning money. That's what I'm doing. I'm burning money. And the games that I do want, I should just buy them if I really want them that bad. So that's what I think I'm going to do. This is something out of my comfort zone. I have not done this before. Like I said, it's almost been 5 years of Game Pass. So now I'm like, well, I'm just going to take a step back and be without it for a few months and see what happens. See if I need to navigate to it. See if I start to fiend like a crackhead, but I don't think I will, because I always have something to play and my backlog is tremendous. And so I'm kind of going there. And then I've kind of had a resurgence of the Xbox 360, which I bought, I think I bought like 5-6 games for like $50. So I'm good. I don't need to spend any more money on any more games anytime soon, unless it's that game that you just have to have, right? It is what it is. So I kind of want to turn myself into one of those gamers where I want to experiment with this. I want to say, you know what, 2026, I just want to buy games on sale. Or if I pay full price for a game, it's a game that, I was highly anticipating. So I give myself, for the year 2026, 4 games for that whole entire year. I'm only giving myself 4 games that I can buy, or that I am allowed to buy day one. Okay. This is something that a conversation I had with myself. I'm going to put myself to that challenge. I want to see if I could do it. Right. And see what happens. So we'll see. And I'll go from there. And then everything else, on a sale, find a deal. There's deals on Steam. There's deals on all the stores, the Xbox store. I bought, literally the other day, I bought Ultra Street Fighter 4 for $2.75 on the Xbox store. Right? Crazy, right? Ultra is basically the version that has all the characters unlocked, all of that. So these deals are here. These deals are out here. So I say all that to say, yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about. So if I can do shit like that, then I'm in. You know what I mean? Buying games on Steam for $1.50, $2. You know what I mean? I'm down for that. So that's what I'm at. Or going to my local Retro GameStop, which is, or Game Store, fuck GameStop, which is movie trading company. And there's another one called Cards and Games, which they, my Retro Kick, they got all kind of cool shit over there. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And I have I just had about 10 new Xbox 360 games. So guys, I don't need anything. I shouldn't have to buy anything right now. And I don't need any online services because I haven't been playing anything online. Like I said, all my friends and stuff, they're doing their own thing. Whenever I go on there and check, they're playing some whatever the fuck, And I've always told you guys, all my OG listeners know this. I am a single player gamer at heart. Like that's my genre. Like I usually only play games by myself. If there's a game that warrants that, playing with friends, there are some out there. Like I said, Arc Raiders, okay, Helldivers 2, all right. I'm trying to get some friends to get on some Warhammer with me. You know what I mean? And games like that, The Division, like these are the games I play, but they're far and in between. You know what I mean? And we'll have sessions. We've put in hours and hours and hours of gameplay in all those games. So once you kind of burn yourself out from that, you kind of just go off. Okay, we're good. We've done this. Now we just go off and find whatever we want to find. And a lot of these are single player type of games and stuff. So that's kind of like where I'm at. If there warrants a time where, hey man, all the guys are getting together, man, it's this next few days. Okay, I'll spend $10, get the membership for a month, and I'll go fuck with you guys like that. And then after that, boom, I'm done again. Right. And usually that's how it works. There's usually not a chance when you're going to play that whole entire month. You might go really hard for 2 weeks and then boom, you're done. You know what I'm saying? So I might do something like that because I'm thinking about picking up, Madden because I'm a Bears fan, just so you guys know. We have arrived officially. So that's another conversation. But man, I am so happy. We have a coach. We have our quarterback. I'm just ecstatic right now. That's a whole nother conversation. As far as my Game Pass situation, I think that's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to sit, I'm going to chill, I'm going to marinate, and I'm going to see what it feels like to, live my days without Game Pass. And so if there's an awesome game that I can't, I can't be without, like another Expedition 33 type situation, then I may, buy it for 1 month or whatever. It's still cheaper than buying the game. And then you can kind of, play that game you wanted to play and then kind of comb through and see what else is there that you might get a chance to, try out or whatever, and then go from there. And then just mark those games as favorites. And then you can just check out when the sales drop, go to Deku Deals. I tell everybody all the time, it's an awesome site. You put in whatever platform you're on, you type in the name of the game, and it'll tell you how much the game is. It'll give you a graph on when the game goes on sale, what's the lowest it's ever went, and how often it goes on sale. So you can kind of track and say, oh, okay, cool. Well, if I wait another couple of months, it'll come back on sale. I've done that with a couple of games on Steam where they were $20 and then I ended up buying it for $1.75. So, and it's just being patient and waiting, right? So that's basically what I'm trying to do with that. And just basically shop for games a little bit smarter. You know what I mean? And not just waste so much, especially when you're trying to attain certain things. That's me right now. It's kind of opened my eyes up to that because there's some money I need to put in certain places in the next few years to get me to a situation where I can actually be home and, every day and give you guys way more content and just all that. So that's what I'm kind of doing, guys. I'm really going to bust my ass this year. And that's why I haven't had a lot of time to game. So it's really, that time is really precious to me now because when I'm not fucking doing a podcast or I'm not at work, I'm usually editing some fucking YouTube videos or something. And I have just enough time to play a little something here and watch a little something there, so that's kind of like where I'm at right now. And then you got to also keep in mind that when you have kids and young kids, you got to deal with that. My son has track coming up in the next month or so. So I'll be going to track meets again. I was going to cross country track meets. So these things are, and these are usually on my off days. So I'm out doing that type of situation. And then, yeah, it is what it is. It's always kind of changing. So I'm trying to set myself up so that, I can have this time. And that's what you want. That's what anybody wants. You would think, right? Unless you just love your job, like you just so in love with your job, like my wife. Hey, she loves her job. That's cool. I wish, I'm not saying I hate my job, but I can definitely tell you I don't love it. but it is a blessing in itself. So I'm not gonna, look a gift horse in the mouth either. But like I said, financial freedom, guys, that's what I'm all about. And that gives me more time to game, anime, and just do all the shit that I like to do and spend time with the fam and all that. So that's the mission we're on here. And Game Pass is just the beginning. Okay. It's what I want to do. But there's other reasons why I don't really need this. And like I said, retro gaming has been a big part of my life as of late. Especially this Xbox 360 situation. There's a lot of fucking dope games, and it was a dope system. It really was. And GameStop is, it just brings me back. GameStop is just dead now. They're officially dead because, when you close a GameStop in the second biggest mall in America, where you have traffic every day, people literally walking past that, thousands of people every day walking past that. And every time I go to that mall, there's always a packed GameStop in there. That's when it's over with, man. All I'm waiting for now is the pallbearer, because now it's not well, we're trying to make more money, and so we're going to close down places in the rural areas and things of that nature. No, you're closing down the most prominent stores. That's what you guys are closing down now. So that lets me know it's definitely over now. And hey, I estimate by 2028 there will be no more GameStops here. GameStop will be obsolete, guys. And it is what it is. They've kind of, fucked over everyone for the last time, everyone from their own employees to the customers. And just, you can't make this shit up. It was a travesty. And I'm sad, but I'm also kind of glad to see them, being gone and flushed out, because they're nothing anymore. They're a shell of their former self. So now, we have to lean on our local shops and stores. Luckily, I live in a city where there are options, where there's, game stores and stuff like that, where you can still get games if you want that physical thing. If you're into if you're into what I'm into, which is the physical media a lot, then yeah, that's cool for you. But everybody has Amazon, so Amazon will never let you down. You may have to be a little bit more patient than a little bit, but that's, sometimes you get lucky and get your shit early. So, hey, who you know what I mean? So it is what it is. But I guess that's just where we're at right now, man. Sad, but true. Anyway, that is why I ended my subscription. And when my son does eventually get his shit back, he'll be, we'll be, hey, man, let's find some sales. What are you looking for? What are you trying to get? All right, go down a list of games you want and we'll get them that way. Or, you can get physical Xbox games and we can go. And that's the cool thing about physical. You can find older physical games for discounted prices. And that's the cool thing. So he can start doing that too as well. And so that's where we're at. Now let's tie a big, nice, pretty bow on that. And now let's get to what I am currently playing. And what I'm currently playing is Xbox 360. And I am playing Naruto Rise of a Ninja. And I think I hit a nice spurt last night because I was starting to wonder, like, man, I was getting my ass kicked by Sakura. Okay. Now it's semi-open world, so you can run around the Hidden Leaf Village, which is cool. And at first, you were kind of, you run around all the stuff like that. But I was like, all right, man, what happened? Where's the Naruto run? The animation with the hands way behind your back and, that type of situation. That's not how he was running. And so I just kept going through the story a little bit, and I started unlocking more and more. And I love the way they kind of, right when you think that you hit a limitation on the game or you're starting to question something about the game, something else busts open, right? And you get another direction or you get another ability or whatever. And that's what happened to me last night. I was going to play for like 30 minutes and that 30 minutes turned into like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And because I kept on unlocking shit and finding new things. And I got the Naruto run, which is like a turbo speed run through the Hidden Leaf Village. And basically it's your navigation because the city's pretty big. There's a lot of different nooks and crannies over there. You can go on the ground. You can go on top of the rooftops and stuff like that. And I really, really appreciate that. And then I really started getting into the fighting aspect of it because I love my fighting games, if you guys don't know. And this has got a pretty nice little system. And I really like the combat in this game. And I really, a light bulb came on last night when I was playing because I was pulling off shit and I was like, how am I doing this? And I couldn't, find like a training spot or a dojo. But then I Googled it and it was like, no, this game does have a dojo, but I'm like, I guess I haven't unlocked it yet or whatever. So the practice. So right now I'm just practicing on my first, my first sensei, God damn, I can't think of his name now, but the first one who trains Naruto, takes him under his wing and everything like that. And, I'm beating his ass up for a little change, for a little piece of change, and learning stuff and kind of practicing right there. And Sakura has been beating the brakes off of me. She's just relentless. She was just like tearing my ass up. And I'm like, God damn. And so I'm upgrading. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I'm learning the fighting styles and what things do. And I'm to the point now where the next step for me is putting these combos together, like taking like a, 4-piece and then connecting it, linking it to, a 3-piece, and taking that 3-piece and linking it to a 6-piece, like those type of, and memorizing those, like memorize good, nice 3 combos and then linking those together. Like that's the shit I'm on right now. My focus is, but it is definitely cool. You definitely got some cool abilities that I already got. I just unlocked how to wall climb and things of that nature. And I just did my first transition. When you're going to, certain area like the forest or whatever, that traversal mini game is awesome, where you're just kind of like, diving from branch to branch. I think that's so sweet. And I really like it. So really into that, really excited about this game. And like I said, it's a Naruto RPG. Come on, man. You can't. Bruh, you just can't. I don't know what else to say about it, but it's awesome. And that's all I've been playing. I haven't played anything else. So what I might try to do, because I got a couple days off, is try to play something on Game Pass, because I think my Game Pass is over. It's expiring like around the 16th or 17th or something like that. So that'll be done. My PlayStation 1 is expiring in a few days as well. So it's like, man, see what I can put together before those expire. And then I'll be going back to my backlog and seeing what's going on there, or some of these new games that I just bought. They see these new old games that I bought. So yeah, there's a lot of shit I have. I got Cain and Abel 2, Dog Day Afternoon. I got some shooters, Dark Sector. What else? I told you I just bought Ultra Street Fighter 4. So I have some games. You know what I mean? It's a lot of these I bought on the Xbox, my Xbox Series S. They're older games, the 360 titles, but you can play them there. That's one cool thing Xbox has, and it lets you do. So yeah, I think I also bought Splinter Cell Pandora's Tomorrow. I bought that Xbox game, and I also bought Splinter Cell Conviction. So now I think most of my Splinter Cell games are complete. There's still a couple I'm missing, but for the most part, I'm pretty good over here on the side of Sam Fisher. I'm really looking forward to Conviction as well, though, because I had a blast playing that when I used to, way back when I had my 360. I remember playing that game and loving that shit. And then Blacklist came out, and you know what? I was looking at some shit on Blacklist, and apparently a lot of people weren't too hype on Blacklist. Man, there was a lot of people who weren't into it as much as I was into it. You know what I mean? They wanted some of the old school type, stealthy, more kind of like Pandora's Tomorrow, which is hailed as the best Splinter Cell game out. If you ask a lot of the fans out here, but for me, it's Blacklist. I don't give a fuck when nobody says Blacklist. To me, is just the shit. I don't care. Tell me what you want. It's not gonna matter. I love Blacklist. I love them all, but that's the one for me. But anyway, that's what I've been playing. That's it. That's nothing else on the table. I'm gonna try to do something, but I got a couple of videos I got to edit, and so look out for the channel as well, guys. Just if you haven't subscribed to the Random Gameplay Pimpin' YouTube channel, do that. Subscribe there. I got some new videos coming out. Actually, a video on GameStop coming out over there. So definitely check that out. Podcast every Wednesday there, just in case you miss it or you just want to listen to it over there. Yeah. So just trying some new things, guys. And that's it. I want to do a video on the man cave. I want to kind of give you guys a small tour of kind of like my day to day, like what I do in here, like what goes down. And here's pretty cool. I have a Japanese futon in here on the floor for the weekends. On the weekends, I sleep in here usually because I work on the weekends and my kids are up early on the weekends. And I'm a type of person that it's really hard for me to sleep. Like if I get waking up it's hard for me to go back to sleep, and I don't get enough sleep as it is. So I designed this room, this game room, to be kind of like a bat cave. Literally, like there's 2 windows, but the windows are covered with blackout, curtains. And so when everything's off in here, it's pitch black in here. And I did that on purpose because when the sun comes out, I don't want to know that it's daytime. Like I hate waking up and the sun is coming through the window. It bothers me. I can't sleep. So I need it to be dark in here. So I set it up like that. And then I bought the Japanese futon because, like I said, I needed something to sleep on in here when I did sleep in here on those weekend days. So when they're up at 7, 8 o'clock running around and shit, watching cartoons and whatever they're doing, I can be in here with the door closed, pitch black. And, I usually turn on like, there's a channel that I listen to, like a rain channel, like where it's just light rain or sometimes some thunder or whatever in the back. And I kind of keep that on and it helps me sleep really well. So I kind of do that. So that's what I do on those days. You have a long night and you just kind of, you just want to lay here, and it's a perfect thing. My wife doesn't necessarily like it. She prefer me sleeping there every night, but, she understands as far as the weekend, I need my sleep. So that's why I got it here. But I want to give you guys a tour of what I'm working with right now. It's not complete by any stretch, but I'd say it's like 70% done. I'd say another 30%. And when I mean that, I mean, like, there's still some posters that, I would like to see put up here. And there's still some things that I, want to add to it. But for the most part, it's a pretty dope little setup, modest little setup here. I'm going to have to get some more, game shelves, these shelves for my games. Definitely, because they're getting out of hand a little bit now. I'm not a super collector like you see some of these guys on YouTube or whatever with fucking all kinds of, stacks and stacks of bookshelves of games like that. No, that's one day maybe, but no, that's not what I'm working with right now. But I do my little thing. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to give you guys a look and, give you an idea of what I'm working with here, man. Anyway, that's going to do it. I think that's it. I have nothing left on the table. I just want to thank everybody for coming out, downloading, streaming the podcast. However you consume the podcast, man, I appreciate it. And I'll say it one more time, one more shameless plug. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you guys have not. If you want more of this show, more of your boy Studio MacGyver, check that out over there. Okay. Trying to grow it. So yeah, trying to get that done. But anyway, that being said, I love you guys. If you're new to the show, hey, welcome to the show. Hope to see you again. We do this every Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. And I'm out, man. This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.